plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Dad? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I'm James Pledger. Thanks for rolling with me tonight. We'll get you home. Don't worry about all that. However you may be listening, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, or if you're on our YouTube page, at sasportstar, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Miguel Martinez on our YouTube Live says, don't know how we're going to be able to hear you after all that singing on the Blitz. Yeah, that wasn't a great way to end the show. And you think your ears hurt. I'm wearing headphones. It made it even worse. My goodness, Paul Cantu wants to know if we're singing here. No, we're not singing here. We'll sing in the car. We'll sing in the shower. We're not singing on radio or where anybody can hear us. That's not going to be a thing. And you're welcome for that because it would be god-awful. Ranger fans, though, they may be singing a little bit later tonight as they got a chance to close things out. Ever World Series title as they try and close things out against the Diamondbacks tonight. They got what's been their ace throughout this postseason. It's either him or Montgomery, but Nathan Eovaldi taking the hill for the Texas Rangers to try and close this thing out. That's going to be big. You can catch it right here on San Antonio Sports Star coming up right after Extra Innings with Pledger at 6:30. The Spurs, man, I know everybody wants to make a big deal about the point guard experiment with the positionless basketball. We're 4 games in. And it was an amazing 20-point win. Yes, Trey Jones is a massive part of closing those games out. I agree with everything that's being said. But maybe Pop has a plan here. Maybe by not having a pure point guard, he's trying to force the action to where Wemby can maybe rip and go and initiate. Maybe he will change his stripes. Maybe Trey Jones will start starting. But I like that closing lineup with Trey Jones. And maybe he thinks that that second unit that doesn't have a Keldon, that doesn't have a Vassell, that doesn't have somebody that can kind of take over and be that alpha in the lineup to get you and score you points. Maybe he thinks Trey Jones is necessary for that second unit when they come in to run offensive sets and to get buckets that way. And that's the importance of Trey Jones on that second unit and when he closes games. Maybe he's the Manu Ginobili. He doesn't have to start, but he has to finish. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Manu. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying in terms of his playing style and the minutes he's used in. I'm just spitballing. I am willing to let this kind of come and develop and give it more than a 4-game sample size. Maybe give a month at the end of November. Let's reevaluate things. If they continue to get off to these slow starts. But I'm willing to let it cook and give it time. I like what I'm seeing out of Wemby. I don't like his slow starts to game. I love the way he finishes them. But part of me thinks that's Wemby being Wemby, not wanting to be the immediate alpha that comes in and takes over and is like, I'm the dude. You're going to follow me. I'm going to drag us where we need to go. And he's, if you notice, he's deferring a lot early in the game too. And I don't think that's so much a Trey Jones fix as it's a Wemby fix. Wemby needs to be more aggressive. Maybe plays need to be called specifically for Wemby to get him engaged in the game action earlier. Greg Popovich knows that that's something that they need to do is get Wemby more involved earlier in ball games.
He's playing through it. Like I said, he's learning the game. He's learning what he can do and what he can't do, in this league, what he's got to improve. But he never stops trying, and he's a quick learner. The second half was much better than the first half. So we just got to get him feeling comfortable from the beginning of the game, I guess.
Got to get him comfortable early. And yes, Trey Jones would help with that. I think a proven point guard would help him get into a flow possibly earlier. But this is trial and error. And this is the early part of a young team. You're throwing things against the wall because these are lineups and players that the Spurs aren't used to being able to play with. The closest thing they've kind of had to something like this, Boris Diaw? Question mark? A big guy that can kind of play outside, can still take it inside, can initiate some offense. I mean, just a multifaceted type of player. They can do a whole bunch of different things, but right now Wemby's a rookie, and Wemby is deferring to the guys whose team this is, the guys who make the most money, the Devons, the Keldons. This is their team. Wemby will eventually take his rightful place, and we're seeing the flashes of it. He is unequivocally the most talented player on this team. Now, Devin may be the best player on this team, and Keldon is the veteran on this team, and they all have their place. But at some point, much like it was Tim's team, it was Tim's team, but it was also Manu's team, but it was also Tony's team. They all had a voice in that locker room, and when any of them spoke, everyone listened. And I think that's the three-headed triumvirate you have to look at in terms of these guys have to get on the same page, Keldon, Wemby, and Devin. And then everybody else has to get in behind that. I say give it till at least mid-June, or excuse me, mid-June, mid-November, before we just dismiss this rip and run or positionless basketball or whatever you want to call it, and try and throw it out, throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say, in terms of it doesn't work. Give it a chance to work first. We are a very microwave society in terms of we expect results instantaneously, and we're getting them in a way with Wemby. But still, this is a bunch of young players. They're all going to take some time, and there are a bunch of young players that haven't been on winning teams in the NBA. That's a very, very important distinction, is the fact that I think this team is going to have to learn how to close games that are close down the stretch against good teams. Now, they took a step earlier this year. They closed a game against the Houston Rockets, but that's another young team trying to learn how to win. They're going to need to learn how to close out games late against veteran squads like they did last night against a team that is supposed to be competing for a championship this year. And yes, they were without two of their best players. Goldfinger123 on our YouTube live says he thinks air fryers are more instant. They're not. Air fryers actually take longer. The food's better. There's no doubt about that. But if you don't think it takes 10 minutes to warm something up, you're wrong. I can do pizza rolls in the microwave for a minute 30 to get them hot, or I can stick them in the air fryer for 5 minutes and get them crispy. There's a difference. The air fryer takes a little bit longer. Let's treat the Spurs like an air fryer. Give it a little bit longer. Victor Wembanyama talking about this game was, he sounds like a Spur. He's got the Spur things. He's even talking about pounding the damn rock.
It was just the experience. The experience we had last game. we didn't want to reproduce it, of course. So yeah, even when we started being down some points, we were like, yeah, we're good. It's nothing, we need to pound the rock and keep going and do the efforts. And it's not like we had a crazy run at some point, but we slowly we caught up.
Pounding the rock, getting back into it. Frank Mateo says, trust the Popsus. In Pop we trust. It takes time, and this is year 2 of a rebuild. And technically it's year 1 of the rebuild. They ripped it all the way down to the studs last year to start that rebuild. They didn't start building up from the rebuild until this year. But, man, Devin Vassell, he's going to be a dude. Devin Vassell is going to be a player. Keldon is exactly what we think he is, I think. He is a great player, and he's going to be an awesome complementary piece that's going to lead this team in scoring on a lot of nights. But once Wemby takes on that role of being able to take over games, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. What say you? 210-656-3776. Before we go to break, let's bring on Drew. Drew, what's going on? Welcome on to Extra Innings with Pledger.
Hey, what's there, Pledger? Pizza rolls, I got to have them crispy. I can't just warm them up. Hot cheese and sauce and soggy bread is not my deal. Along with that, thoughts, soggy bread and stuff like that. You say let's give Pop till mid-March, but, is that when we start?
No. I said I misspoke when I said mid-June. I meant mid-November before we get rid of this positionless thing. Let's at least give it a shot.
We have no say in that. Are we all forgetting that under the DeRozan era, where we had the greatest shooter in the history of the world, Bryn Forbes, for 120 games at shooting guard? Pop doesn't change his mind. And so we might say, yeah, it's a bad thing, but Pop's the guy who has to play the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know that Pop will be able to do that. And like you said, I kind of kept differences. Let's get into fruit here with just with.
By the
Duncan.
way, you tweeted me last night at about halftime when they were down 20.
Yeah, I felt that 100%. It was come on, 90. It was 1,000 to 1 odds. Come on. Anyhow,
it's a rush to judgment. And
no,
that's
it wasn't
my
a rush
point,
to judgment.
Drew.
Okay. Let's get to. Let me give me my point here. You have a great point. The big three. I like how you're saying people are excluding SoCan out of the big three when they say he should start. He is Wemby's backup. I like how you guys are saying you're trying to differentiate between who's better, Keldon or Vassell, where it's not really an overwhelming thing either way. They're not really both great at anything. Vassell takes more bad shots, but with Duncan, in regards to him being the man, he was the man immediately because the maturity of all. Hall of Famer, All-Star, MVP, David Robinson, Sean Elliott, and Avery Johnson knew to step aside and give the guy the touches, right?
That's the difference in this team, though. They don't have those guys surrounding him that know to hand over the reins, and Wemby's not going to take them. Much the same way Tim didn't take them.
I think he'll take them more than because I've been following there's a guy been translating the French stuff, the French interviews, and this isn't Tim Duncan, right? With a solid guy. He has a team. He's Wemby Inc. There are people, including him, who have expectations of this. He's being nice right now. He's a sleeping giant right now. But if this continues more than past your date, and it continues all the way, I fear that who's the last rookie who did this spectacular stuff in the fourth quarter? And we're going back to the Bryn Forbes era, where we all should have. Lonnie Walker should have gotten Bryn Forbes minutes just to see what he had. He had talent.
Look, I get it, Drew, and I'm sorry I'm up against the time wall. I've got to take a break. I got Rangers coming up at the bottom of the hour, but we're all very instantaneous and expecting results, and we have in our minds what's already made up. And Clint, you tweeted me like they were going to lose at halftime yesterday. They didn't, because they figured it out and things settled down. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. Will, I see you. Ray, I see you. We'll get back to this and get you ready for Rangers-Rays Game 5 coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning.
Thursday on R&R in the morning. It's time for some Bezos ball over on Amazon, but you can also catch it right here on San Antonio Sports Star. The Steelers taking on my Titans and Will Levis, and Spurs, Phoenix, Part 2.
Are they going to wear those uniforms? They should, right? Yeah. Oilers? We'll talk Spurs. We got World Series. We got football. We got you. The party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ron White, live.
If your eyes go bad, you can have LASIK surgery and they give you 20/20 vision. But let me tell you something, folks. You can't fix stupid.
Saturday, January 13th, 7 p.m., Majestic Theater. On sale Friday, November 3rd, 10 a.m. Tickets available at MajesticEmpire.com, venue box office, or by phone at 888-246-3185. For mature audience.
And the greatness are only a few days away. The 40th running of the Breeders' Cup World Championships at Santa Anita is finally here. The ultimate racing showdown that every owner, trainer, and jockey around the globe has in their sights. With $31 million in purses and awards, there's a lot at stake. But only the best will claim the coveted title of World Champion. Coverage begins Friday, November 3rd on USA and continues Saturday, November 4th on USA and NBC. Visit breederscup.com to learn more.
Hi, I can help whoever's next.
Cooper's overnight shipping company has to deliver the goods.
Ship these gifts to your grandkids.
They need a logistics manager to keep the wheels turning.
126 packages going to Toronto, Tuscaloosa, Montreal, and Minneapolis. Oh boy.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Halloween is over, but hiring is still a bit scary. Indeed's end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, bag boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys, bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Temperatures are low, but demand is high. You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Are you a business owner in need of financing? Then you need Swish Funding, the better way to get the funding you need. Our simple application process takes just minutes, with funding as soon as one business day. At Swish Funding, we focus on your business cash flow, not your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with funding from $5,000 to $5 million. If you've been in business for 1 year and have monthly revenue of at least $25,000, you could get the affordable funding you need with no collateral at swishfunding.com. That's SWISH funding.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the potty. Less is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's cushion and things, so our cheeks feel flat. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
With Black Friday appliance savings all month long at the Home Depot, we're making the holidays merrier by making holiday hosting easier with our lowest prices of the year on Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Get everything you need to store all your holiday favorites
Dinner's ready.
and the leftovers with top brand kitchen appliances at a great value. Save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages, including top brands like Whirlpool with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Guys, your testosterone level can impact your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Book your testosterone level check at Revive Men's Health San Antonio. They're the local experts with guaranteed treatments for low T and ED. There are no lab fees. All your tests are included, and many patients find Revive more affordable than their insurance deductibles and copays. Book your testosterone level check today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDAC.
Time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I said I'd get to your calls on the other side, and I will. First up, we got Ray. Ray, welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure, my man. What's going on? We've been talking Spurs and Wemby. What you got for me?
Hey, James. Thank you for taking my call. What do you think the chances of, like, maybe the Spurs making a kind of a – because Spurs normally don't do anything at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the chances of Spurs maybe bringing someone in the trade deadline? Next year's free agent is not really looking too good. I think we got Klay Thompson, but I think eventually Klay will – I think he'll resign with Golden State. So like I said, free agency pool next year doesn't look too good, but maybe the Spurs can maybe try and make a splash at the trade deadline. And who do you think they might be looking for? Malcolm Brogdon would seem like a good fit for the Spurs.
I mean, to me, Ray, and I appreciate the phone call. Look, the Spurs probably going to want to get another point guard to help along with Trey Jones. Having one true point guard on your roster is not great. And that may be something they look to address at this year's trade deadline if they're right around the play-in or the playoffs. If they're on the bubble, I could see them making a move. But, man, it's going to be fun to watch as this season unfolds. Just give it time, at least like an air fryer, not a microwave. I appreciate the phone calls. I appreciate the conversation on YouTube. And, John Dyer, to answer your question, yes, the Rangers do close it out tonight. They will get it done right here on San Antonio Sports Star as we get you going with Rangers Diamondbacks Game 5 as Texas tries to win their first World Series title tonight right here on San Antonio Sports Star. We'll talk to you tomorrow, guys.
Iron Maiden return. The Future Past Tour 2024. Frost Banks